is so cool. I am live, streaming, starting soon. Going live during the workday for an AMA. I like it. Hi, everybody. I am live for the first time across so many platforms. I am on TikTok right now, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you are coming on, I am early. I'm starting this officially at 10, right? But I figure the early comers, we can just hang a little bit as I set up. I'm so excited to be doing this, and what I really should have done was invited my network to it. Golly, all the things you think of, but then you don't actually do it in these situations. All right, I am looking for an intro of who I am, what I do, and ugly middle kind of things. Looks like I have someone here. Hey, say hi. I got Maya, I got GC. Got a number of people here. Spicy Frijoles. I love that name. I am a Spicy Frijole who is originally from San Antonio, Texas, and I live in Austin, Texas, and excited to be here. My official start time is in 2 minutes, but I am coming on just a little bit early. TikTok so far is winning the platform game, by the way. I don't know how to see who's watching by platform, but I know that I have a few people. Your plastic toy has just joined me on TikTok. Hi. This is an organizational change. Ask me anything with things that are changing in business right now. So if anyone has a question, I am Dr. Diane Dye. So the only thing TikTok is not going to get, and it's because I don't have my StreamYard set up to it, is you're not going to get this intro video that I'm about to play. So I think that though you can go to my reels and see the intro video and who I am, but I am Dr. Diane Dye. I am an expert in organizational change and leadership. I work with seasoned executives through their biggest challenges. In fact, I'm the person that the CEO brings into the boardroom. If anyone ever watched Billions, you watched Billions. I'm like Wendy in Billions. I'm kind of like that type of person. I am Wendy in Billions. So I'm the person who knows where the bodies are buried, but also I keep that confidential, and that's really important to me. I have tons of people on TikTok. I've got another eyeball here. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to play. This is a really messy practice video. By the way, this is my very first live ever. This is an Ask Me Anything on organizational change and leadership. This could be about AI. This could be about your organizational design. I certainly believe that all problems are people problems. So if there's a people problem happening in the organization, I will answer that. I work with seasoned CEOs. And I am the one that they bring in the room when the chips are down. When the chips are down, and there's no other play that you could possibly think of making, they bring me in to help them figure out what that next play is, what that next big play is. And I help executives who are literally leaving millions on the floor earn their next million easily. I believe in easy. Most get least sweat. But I'm going to play this quick video for anyone. I've got a ton of people that are going through on TikTok. So this video, which you'll probably hear the audio of, is in my reels here. I'm looking at both cameras right now. I'm going back and forth. But I'm going to play this, and warning, I am wearing no makeup. It is very ugly. In terms of how absolutely nervous I was to do this video. But it kind of boils it down as to why I do what I do. So here we go.
Have you ever wished you had a candy bowl of Xanax on your desk for the number of fires you face every day as a CEO of your company? What if those fires were actually the key to your next 1 to 2 million in revenue? Hi, I'm Dr. Diane Dye. I help seasoned CEOs build resilient, profitable companies by turning problems into opportunities for revenue. I learned this lesson early. At just 5 years old, I watched my dad, after more than a decade running his hotel, turn down a buyout offer from a major chain. His resistance to change lost our family millions. Worse, it set off a domino effect of missed opportunities until he sold the hotel years later for pennies on the dollar. In 2021, I sat slack-jawed in tears, watching as a bulldozer smashed through my childhood bedroom. That moment really shaped me. In my corporate career, I saw the same pattern again and again. Executives defaulting to business as usual instead of embracing change. I watched company after company resist change or go with the comfortable choice when faced with 9/11, the tech wreck, and the recession. When the pandemic hit, I made a different choice as CEO of my own company. While many leaders were shutting down, I developed the critical opportunity method to help CEOs face disruption differently. My client at the time, a behavioral health CEO, not only kept her doors open as a result, she expanded. Today, her behavioral health system has more than doubled in revenue. And they're still my clients. Now I use this method and others I've developed to help CEOs transform business problems, internal changes, and external shocks into data they can use to close gaps, spark innovation, and grow profitably. I'm on a mission to help 10,000 CEOs by the end of 2026. Like, follow, and share this with a CEO you know shouldn't be facing their business problems alone.
That is my there. That's really messy. Let's remove that. There we go. Boom. That's it. That is the crux of what I do. When I was a kid, I was actually raised in a motel that my dad had built. My dad was a civil engineer. He had a Medina paving company in a little town called Divine, Texas. Medina Paving Company was his. My grandfather was a real estate broker. So I was dyed in the wool. Like I had no choice but to become an entrepreneur, quite honestly. I had zero choice. If there are any generational entrepreneurs in the room, you kind of know what I'm saying and putting down here. Like you just kind of have no choice. And but I grew up seeing my dad work really hard. My mom worked really hard. My siblings supported the business. And one day my dad got this offer, and it was an offer to become a Best Western. And he looked at the offer and he's like, I'll lose control. I'll lose control. I don't want to do it. I still kind of remember a little bit the fight that went down over this because they wanted him to put, and I mean, come on, every hotel room has one of these, a deadbolt. Okay. I know I'm dating myself here, but it was not common back then to have deadbolts inside the rooms. He's like, I don't want my hotel to have deadbolts inside the rooms. I want people to be able to lock themselves in. I'm not going to become a Best Western. And his resistance against this was so huge that he decided he wasn't going to do it. And the result of that is that less than 10 years later, he wasn't competitive. People stopped coming as much. He had to sell it. He had to sell after my parents' divorce, so it caused a lot of stress in their marriage. I mean, entrepreneurial stress, entrepreneurial loneliness, executive loneliness is it's really a massive epidemic. And drop in the chat if you have experienced this or know anyone who has experienced this. But this issue, what happened here is that it ruined our legacy. It really ruined our legacy. And as a result, the hotel sold, and we and the family was fractured. Now, today, I use this pain as purpose. I use this pain to really propel me forward and try to help those executives who may be facing a big opportunity, a big challenge. Um, and I do that to really just help you help you not have to face things alone. And I'm curious, is there anything that anyone who's watching is facing right now and in your company? I mean, they're in TikTok. I see there's a couple people watching. So what are you facing? Like, this isn't an ask me anything. I didn't structure this one to, and um, you know, there's an invitation at the end, but there's no pitch. I really just want to be here and I want to help. Um, because it's leadership can be a lonely place. They're not kidding. It's lonely at the top. It's really lonely at the top. If you're in leadership, if you're in management, it is a place where you really can't say much. You can't talk to the leaders that are above you. You can't talk to the rank and file below you. If you're a CEO, talking to the board is hard. Like, all of this is a really tough thing to do. So what I do with my private clients is, I'm, like they're Wendy and Billions. I'm the one who knows where the bodies are buried, and I ask the tough questions, and I help them get to innovation. I help them get to solutions. So yeah, if anybody has any questions at all, I would love to answer them. And please don't hold back. And also, you can anonymize your questions. You can make it non-company specific, not about you. I have the comments up right now, so I can see anybody that leaves a comment. I can see your comment. I can see over here. I have two screens going on. I see over here on TikTok. I have Candace who just joined. Hi, say hello. I have Maximum Boom 73 who just joined. If you're in any of the other platforms, I've got the StreamYard chat up and running, so I can see that I've got Amanda on in that one. I've got Shy Alexander. Lots of people rolling across that could be asking questions about change and company change and what to do with your business, and all of that stuff. I'm just here to help with on a Monday morning. I am actually in this mentorship, and I love it. I'm with Jen Gottlieb and Chris Winfield. So if you don't know who Jen Gottlieb is, she is the author of Be Seen, and this is one of my messy middle things that I am doing to be seen in this. And so if it's a little bit painful, well, it's a little bit painful for me too. A little bit painful for me too, but it is what we do, as they say, to get in the reps. So I think what I have decided to do here, and this is going to limit my ability to look at my chat and my camera, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to practice my keynote for you today. I think that that's probably a good use of this time, because I am just floating here. And again, if anyone asks any questions, I will be able to see the questions over here on TikTok, and I will be able to note those. But right now, I'm actually looking for my keynote outline, and I'm going to practice my keynote because I'm nervous. You made me nervous. So What if I told you that the very problem, challenge, or outright crisis you're facing right now is the key to your next million? So today, I'm going to show you how to use whatever you're going through to innovate and build a resilient and, best of all, profitable business. So, to look at how you innovate, let me first tell you a story about how not to. And it all starts with my father. My father blew a multi-million dollar legacy with one word. Anyone guess what that one word is? It's no. No is the 2-letter killer. But it's also a 2-letter savior, and that's what makes it such a sticky word, right? My dad said no pretty quickly when Best Western approached him. So my dad was a budding hotelier. When I was born, I was born with caliche on my baby shoes, and used to run around the construction site to El Cid Motor Inn. It was located in Lytle, Texas, and there is now a gas station built on top of it. I pretty much spoiled the story there, but yeah, he denied Best Western and the business went under about 10 years later. It took a while. It was a slow bleed. But so I was little, I was around a construction site. I saw it build literally from the ground up, and every day more and more. And then it became a working and operating business. And then my siblings, like my sister, worked in the restaurant. And it was truly a family business. I don't know if anyone here watching has a family business, but Willow says, I love your wig. Where's it from? It's not a wig. It's not a wig. It's my real hair. Thank you, though. I guess my hair looks good today if it's looking like a wig. That's really cool. All right, back to the story. I just saw that come across and I'm like, it's not a wig, but yay. I guess that's like, is that the ultimate compliment that your hair looks like it's a wig? Did I play Office? Okay, so CJ over on TikTok wants to know if I played Office in the office of the hotel. I did not play Office in the office of the hotel, but I did play Office in the office of the house because I had to have I was not working from home back then. But when I was 12, the business did last long enough to operate. And when I was 12, I ran the switchboard. So I did get behind and actually work. I did not play Office. I was labor. I was labor when I was 12 years old, and that's similar to a lot of family businesses as well. I was labor, but my dad didn't want to put deadbolts on the doors, and every hotel I've been in lately, I don't know about you, but every hotel I've been in lately, I think it's pretty much a law now that it has to have a deadbolt on the inside of it. But Best Western, always ahead of the game in safety, said we've got to have deadbolts. Dad put his foot down and he's like, no one's going to tell me what to do with my business. Actually, I can do my dad's voice. No one's going to tell me what to do with my business. And he just put his foot down. And when he put his foot down, he ruined our legacy. And he didn't know it at the time. He thought he was protecting the way he wanted to run his business. And he's like, I'm going to keep it El Cid. I'm not going to put deadbolts on. They're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do it better. I know all, right? And we do, right? As business owners, we do know all. We want to protect our babies. Sometimes ears can be closed. And I think it's okay to admit that. I know I've been really resistant even just to doing this for my business. So net, 5 years after, the Best Western deal happened right before the divorce. My parents divorced when I was 5. And a few years after that, say about just under 10 years after that, about a year or so after I was answering the switchboard at the age of 12, um, the hotel had to be sold. And it was no longer a venture that my dad wanted to do anything with. This is really similar to some other clients that I had. I worked with them and they had such a product. Their product was on the lips of Katy Perry at the Grammys. And they turned down $1 million investment for 20% of their company because they wanted to keep control. So this word no can be really, really insidious. And the point of this is that your own resistance can cost you millions, but not just millions. It can cost your mental health, your legacy, your livelihood. I have a vision for my dad where my dad would have had many Best Westerns, right? He would have had a structure. He would have had a framework, but instead, what he did was he resisted and kind of took that status quo, my way or the highway. Hi, Yvonne. Nice to see you. He took that status quo, my way or the highway, and so did this makeup manufacturer, my way or the highway, my control, and they controlled themselves completely out of business. So that's the cost of resistance. So I want you to ask yourself, knowing the cost of resistance, is there something that you're quitting on right now before it's even started? Think about that. Is there something that you're maybe considering quitting on? Something you're considering bolting on, something that, has you nervous, but you're like, should I just run? Because, there's trauma response: fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and there's another F word that I cannot say on social media, but I think you might know what it is. But those are trauma responses, and running is a trauma response. So are you quitting on something before it's even started? Have you done your due diligence to determine whether opportunities that you are being given are real or not? So if you don't quit and but you don't ask questions, that's another place where you can still unconsciously kind of tell yourself no, right? You kind of tell yourself no when you don't ask questions. And the questions you want to ask are any question but why. And I'll tell you why that's the case. Because why is an incredibly emotional question. I ask you why 7 times right now, you will cry. You will cry because it taps into that emotional kind of thing, right? About it. Like it just is this, whew, why did you do this? Why did that happen? You almost feel accused, right? So ask any question but why when you're doing due diligence. Ask what is the first question you should ask? What, when, where, how, who. Now the reason why who is so far down on the scale, because who can equal blame. So you want to stay out of blame as well. Who, and then why. So instead of who, what, when, where, why, and that's the order that you're asking, just be mindful of the emotional energy behind those questions you're asking during due diligence. Then ask yourself, am I in reality or resistance? Am I in reality or resistance? How do you know if you're in reality or resistance? Do you want to run? Do you want to fight? Are you frozen? Just do kind of a check against those standard. And I'm not a therapist. I don't play one on TV. I'm a doctor of organizational change and leadership. But these are really the questions left unasked. If you were on your deathbed looking at this opportunity that you said no to, what are the things that you regret not asking? And you ask them today. You ask those things today about your opportunities. And when you do, what you get is you get the data to make the decision. The data to make the decision is so incredibly important, because without that information, you're making these choices in an absolute bubble. And sometimes it keeps us out of a place of unknowing, and it puts us into a place of action when we do it. So we're not just up here in our heads. We're not just up here in our heads spinning out, right? We're getting some action, and fear and action has a really hard time existing at the same time. So sometimes reality isn't exactly reality when you start questioning. So what do I mean by that? There is a book called The Fifth Discipline by Peter Senge, The Fifth Discipline. And in it, it's a big, thick, academic-ish text, so I'm going to boil it down. I'm not going to make you read it. What it says is that inside us all, we're kind of like all recording like a video camera. Everything that's happening in our life, we're recording like a video camera, and we are capturing that information. And from that information captured, we are then making assumptions, and those assumptions are based on our beliefs. They're based on everything that has happened to us before and everything we think could happen to us. So it's very self-protective as well. So this is called the reflexive loop. And the problem is, somewhere along the way, we do start that self-protecting. And because we start protecting, we start applying meaning to what we're seeing, and we're not actually acting in reality. And that's where things get real complicated. So if you're watching, I want you to close your eyes, all eyes closed. I want you to remember your young self. What are some words you would use to describe the kid that you were before the world got real? What are some words you would use to describe the kid you were before the world got real? Think about how open to experimentation you were. Think about the joy that you brought to things. Think about you brought to things. How were you before the world got its hands on you, before the world got real? How open to experimentation were you? Open your eyes. This is the core. The openness to experimentation comes when you're willing to ask your first question. When my dad's business started to tank, my dad got distracted. Instead of asking the questions about the Best Western, he got angry at Best Western for no other reason than having rules. He passed when I was 23, so he won't be watching this recording. But, sorry, Dad, but it's the truth. This is the truth. He cheated. There was a divorce. And it was really the tale of two upbringings. On one side, we had my dad, who was still running the hotel. He had built apartments then by that time, too. Those apartments still exist. They're still standing. There's a gas station over the hotel now, but the apartments still exist. And then there was me and my mom, who were living in the nicest house in town, but we were poor. See, anyone who knows entrepreneurship knows that you show as little income sometimes as possible. And so as such, he showed up as, not having any income. Child support was, I think, $250 a month. I think that's what I was granted for my upbringing was that. And sometimes he wasn't able to pay because the business was in trouble. So I was raised by a single mom, and I was a poor kid. I was poor. I was like eating sardines Rice Krispie treats, little Vienna sausages. I don't know if there's any other poor kids on this stream, former poor kids, but Vienna sausages, um, Rice Krispies, sardines, crackers, Campbell's soup. That was another food of my childhood. It was poor, 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 poor. My social activity was church. My social activity was all church. And I was a poor kid, and I wanted to go roller skating with the church. And, if anyone has ever had a upbringing or known anyone that's been really poor, no is also a word that you hear quite frequently. You hear the word no, and it's because it's just not possible to do some of the things. There are field trips I wasn't able to go on. A lot of things I was not able to do. I heard no a lot as a kid. So one, you could tell yourself no as a leader, or circumstances can tell you no, right? I think a lot of us are being told no right now in a lot of ways. But I wanted to go roller skating, and my mom said no. And so I just thought, you know what? I'm not going to take no for an answer. And I've kind of always been that kind of person, like not taking no for an answer. So I picked up the church directory, and I just started smiling and dialing, as they call it today in sales. I was smiling and dialing. And I would call and I'd say, "Hi, this is Diane. Are you going roller skating? Yeah, you're going roller skating. Do you have any room in your car? Oh, you don't have room in your car. Oh, do you know anyone who has room in their car?" And because I don't have I don't have a ride. I didn't start with a whole shebang. Like, I didn't have the money to go roller skating. I didn't have food. I didn't have anything. And I'm like, please. I didn't beg. I just asked questions, right? And then I know I was doing what I was supposed to. And I was young. I was like, I just wanted something, and I wanted something bad. So I just called and I said, "Do you have room in your car?" That was a quick yes, no. I'm like, "Oh, if you have room in your car, I'm curious if you can afford one more, because I don't have the money to go roller skating, but I really want to go with the church. So can you afford one more?" And we'll have so much fun. And anyway, end of story. I don't know what my entire sales pitch was, and I won't pretend to remember, but all I know is that I got to roller skating. I got fed. I got back. It was paid for. My mom was pissed. I mean, my mom was really pissed. And she's like, you just go out and get anything you want, don't you? You just go out and get it, don't you? And I felt like she was kind of slapping me down a little bit, but she was really, because she was embarrassed. We were poor. She was embarrassed. So I want to tell you that it's not the yes that gets you to success. It is creatively getting past the no. I'll say that one more time. It is not the yes that gets you to success. It is creatively getting past the no. So how are you being told no right now in business? How is your career telling you no? How are you being told no? Because the person who can sync this for you is not them. It is you. You are the person who can sync this for you. So then you want to look at what's possible. But it's almost hardware, especially in a poor kid's brain. It is very hardwired to think about what's not possible. And I want to challenge you to think of another list, and that's the maybe it's possible. So take every it's not possible and look at what could be possible and make a list of it. Take out a notebook. Make a list of what is possible from what is not possible. And when you do that, you are going to see where you are being told no, where you're pulling a Diane's dad and telling someone else no without doing the research. But you're also going to see the other side of it, and you're going to see what is possible. You're going to see what kind of opportunity you can pull out of this challenge that you're facing. So where are you being told no right now? I was told no in a big way, and it's the reason why I'm talking to you today. So what I want you to do is, whatever platform you're following me on right now, I want you to go over to the DMs, and I want you to DM me yes. I have a workbook. It's called the Critical Opportunity Workbook. It's on Amazon.com. But DM me yes, and I'm going to send you the strategic action plan that's in the back of that workbook. And that's going to help you take the no you're getting right now and help you turn it into a yes. So go into whatever way there is to DM me, and just do that. DM me yes, and I will send that over to you. So I probably need your email to send it to you too. I don't think I have anything automated that's gonna actually send it to you. But so when I was told no in a big way, and it changed things for me though, was when I got laid off 4 months into my master's program, and I started my firm, which is now People Risk Consulting. And failure is a transformation opportunity. I was laid off. I worked for this software company, and to say that it was out of alignment with who I was authentically as a core person would be an understatement. Anytime someone presses you, especially in a work environment, to get out of you who you voted for, don't care what side of the fence you're on, like, run. They're trying to they're really trying to manage you out because of your beliefs, or get a homogenous organization and really truly violate some labor laws at the same time. But I got laid off 4 months into my master's program, and it was devastating because I had just gotten accepted to USC, which University of Southern California was absolutely my dream school. In fact, on my first live, I'm wearing a little bit of some Trojan colors. Maybe if I pull in a Post-it note, I'll have both of them. But fight on for any Trojans who are watching. I got laid off 4 months into my master's program, and I picked up the phone to call unemployment, and they told me that I would have to quit my master's program to get unemployment. And that was devastating because I had just gotten accepted to my dream school, and I was 4 months into my first semester, but I was loving it. Like, I was loving USC already. So I talked to some professors, I talked to some classmates, and ultimately, instead of accepting unemployment, I marched myself down to the Secretary of State's office in Nevada, and I started my firm. So here's the point. Failure is a transformation opportunity. And your failure now can be your business's next multi-million-dollar innovation. So we're moving now from that what's possible list that you just created And I'm sure I can edit this up and make this tight and pretty later on and put a replay out there and all that stuff. But you move from what's possible and you pick one thing in that list. And what you're going to do is you're going to make it actionable. So you're going to ask any question about it, but why? Again, you don't want to ask why because it's emotional. I'll ask you why 7 times. You will cry or it'll trigger some sort of trauma, and I am not in that game, right? So the thing is that I wasn't alone during that time. I had an amazing doctoral cohort. Getting on the phone with my professors, my cohort mates at USC, some of whom I'm still friends with today, things just clicked. So I want to ask you, who is in your corner? Who is in your corner? Hurt people hurt people. And sometimes the people you think who are in your corner may not be. There are people who rage against the machine because they want more people to rage with. And there are leaders who are breaking down and not breaking through. And they will push the problem because they want to validate their own breakdown. So rather than lifting up and being solutions focused, they will say all of the things that are wrong in their industry. And you'll see this in big groups. You'll see this in conferences. You'll see the complaint circle. And you'll always know who it is because they're always blaming something. They're blaming politics. They're blaming tariffs. They're blaming, back at the pandemic when I created my critical opportunity method, they blamed COVID. I was told I was crazy. I was told I was absolutely crazy during COVID because everybody was losing money. And who are you, Diane? Who are you to say that I can innovate from this and come out better from this and change from this? Who are you to say that? You're audacious. And those are people who want to drag you down. So it's so important. It's so incredibly important to have your people who are going to lift you up versus bring you down, because people raging against the machine want more people to rage with. People breaking down but not breaking through like to prove their breakdown is normal, but dragging more people down with them. And it's bad because 77% of CEOs are working in isolation. And despite back to office mandates, only 7% are in the office full time. That means they're working alone. That means business leaders, people who run their own businesses, are working alone. I think the biggest gratitude that I have from my dissertation is that I was not doing it alone. I wasn't. I had a cohort. I had a great cohort. We called ourselves the Avengers. And a cohort, man, they just got me through. When I was in my dissertation, they tell you when you're doing a dissertation, a thesis, whatever you're doing that's big academically, they tell you, don't change anything. Your life's going to change on its own. Don't change anything. So of course I changed everything. I got into a very serious relationship. I moved halfway across the US. Like, I changed everything. And if it weren't for my cohort at USC and another small group that I had involved myself in at the time, I don't know if I would have finished my dissertation, because I really screwed up the program. I really screwed up the program. And the Trojan family and my other family, which was actually ended up being Brendan Burchard's Ultra program, it really inspired me. So I want to ask you, what cohort inspires you? At the same level, moving towards something hard, together, winning. Do you have those people? I mean, type in the chat. Yes, no, yes, I have those people. Tag them, thank them. Today is the birthday of someone I would consider to be, one of my biggest business cheerleaders. And that's my friend Allison. And it's her birthday. She started out as a theater friend because I'm a theater person. She started as a theater friend. She moved from theater friend to client. So she was my client for a short period of time. And then we just started building together. So who are you building with? It's important to have people to build with. So I want you to take out a pen and paper again and write down your dynamic 9. And why 9? Well, because you need people when other people are busy. Because sometimes people are going to be busy. Like if you have 9, I guarantee at least 1 or 2 of them are going to be available when your madness hits the fan. Plan to reach out to your dynamic 9 this week. So here is what you need to understand if someone's in your dynamic 9. Same revenue level as you. A variety of perspectives. Bent on the breakthrough, not the breakdown. Willing to help you win. And someone who you are willing to encourage and share your experience with. And this is important. I cannot tell you how important this is. It's not a dumping ground. This is about the breakthrough, not the breakdown. If you have certain people in your life who you only hear from when they want something or you have drama, they are not part of your dynamic 9. People who want to help you win, people you want to see win, someone you are willing to encourage and share your experience with, someone who will be open with you and volunteer information versus having to extract information. It is exhausting to extract information from people. It's exhausting to have someone be stone cold quiet. I don't care if it's via text. It's exhausting. Tell your dynamic 9. They need to be somebody that you have a free flow conversation. You're at the same revenue level. There's a variety of perspectives. So not everyone in your dynamic 9 is exactly cookie cutter the same. Sometimes when they're all from the same group, they're also cookie cutter the same. They're all in the same industry. They're all doing the same thing. And that's fine. But you don't get a lot of innovation and outside perspective from stuff like that. Willing to help you win, and someone you're willing to encourage. That's so important in my workbook, which is on Amazon, Creating Critical Opportunity. In my workbook, there's an upward spiral and a downward spiral. Your dynamic 9 can be a dynamic 9, or it can be a detrimental 9. Which one do you choose? Which one do you have right now? Like, do an inventory of the people that you talk to the most. Is it dynamic 9 or is it a detrimental 9? And get real with who you have to help you build your dream. So in the end, every breakthrough follows the same arc. Moving from resistance that could cost you millions, and that's resistance that you're saying no, or maybe the world is giving you resistance, situations are giving you resistance. Standing up and being able to ask questions, get curious. So you move from resistance to resilience that carries you through that no. And then reinvention that transforms failure into lasting legacy. So where are you on that spectrum? Are you in resistance? Are you in resilience? Are you winning? Are you starting to win because you're bouncing back from something? Or are you in reinvention? And if you're in resistance or struggling with resilience, what is it costing you? If you're an executive, is it costing you millions? Basically, it's either you, your strategy, or your cohort that is keeping you in your breakdown and out of your breakthrough. So which one is it? I want to share one of my favorite quotes with you. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Who said that was Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein faced resistance on 3 fronts: himself, what the world thought was possible, and his community. Himself, because when your community is telling you that you're disabled and he got kicked out of universities. So he was being rejected left and right. Yourself is the first battle you have to win. You have to get through that resistance. What the world was possible, it was not smooth sailing for Albert Einstein. But if you look across a variety of stories, not just Einstein, it's Oprah, it's the guy who started FedEx got a D on his project that ended up being the company FedEx. So it's not just about community or things lining up for you and all the yes all the time. The core beliefs that you can win are so important, and sometimes that's hard to achieve alone. Today, we enjoy Einstein's innovations. We enjoy GPS, satellite communications, solar panels, modern electronics, medical imaging. We explore space because Einstein didn't take what the world had to say at face value. So I want to close on this one. Another quote from Albert Einstein. It's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stay with problems longer. I want you to stay with the problems today, dig into what's possible, and inside every challenge is your next opportunity to innovate. If you want to stay in contact with me, please like, follow, share. I'm going to go live every Monday. I'm going to be repeating some things. I'm going to be practicing my keynote. I'm going to be doing all the things, but I'm going to check over here. Darren says, great job, Dr. Dye. Hi, good Darren. Thank you so much. I'm going to be here serving every Monday, and hopefully I can get some questions in the door. But until then, I'm here to help you, help the executives innovate to get past the breakdown and into the breakthrough. And if you need a cohort to help you with that, I can help you with that too. So just DM me. Remember, DM me if you want the strategic guide for creating critical opportunity. It's a subset. It's got a breakout of my book that's on Amazon. But do please do that. And with that, I've got 10 minutes till my next meeting. So if there are no questions, I will jump off. But if there are questions, I will answer one question. Speak now or forever hold your peace. And I am on lots of different platforms. So questions, anybody? Other than somebody thought my hair was a wig and where did you get it? I'm like, oh, dang, that's cool. I think that's probably the highest compliment someone could possibly give me. Actually, no, it's not. It's not the highest compliment someone could give me but I do often struggle with my hair, as many people do. But Anyway, I'm not going to go on and on about my hair. Have a good Monday. Go be productive. Go innovate. Bye.